Hello there, I am DoctorDtwo, and I don't know why I'm playing this. Okay, not true. This is Doki Doki Literature Club, and it was suggested to me by a good friend who was almost traumatized by it. And once I looked at it, I saw it was splattered with warnings that it contains disturbing images that should not be viewed by young children, or something like that. And it's got a psychological horror tag. I don't know if it's real or not. I don't know how true any of that is, especially judging by this and the name, but well. I don't normally actually do visual novels, dang around with being the exception, but this is for them. Enter my name. Let's go with my real name here. Doug. I am here. Doug has arrived. Oh yeah, I gotta do the voices. Hey! I see an annoying girl running towards me from the distance, waving her arms in the air like she's totally oblivious to any attention she might draw on herself. That girl is Sayori, my neighbor and good friend since we were children. You know, the kind of friend you never see yourself making today, but it just kind of works out because you've known each other for so long. We used to walk to school together on days like this, but starting around high school, she would oversleep more and more frequently, and I would get tired of waiting up. But if she's going to chase after me like this, I almost feel better off running away. However, I just sigh and idle in front of the crosswalk and let Sayori catch up to me. You know, that's one thing I never actually got. Whenever I see it in old Japanese anime and stuff, someone making attention to themselves in public, I guess it's just not that unusual to me. I mean, it's not a scene, it's just, hey, you're getting someone's attention and then you move on. I mean, it's not like it's the end of the world. Oh well. I overslept again. I'm not gonna do any special voices. But I caught you this time. Maybe, but only because I decided to stop and wait for you. You say that like you were thinking about ignoring me. That's mean, Doug. Well, if people stare at you for acting weird and I don't want them to think we're a couple or something. Fine, fine. But you did wait for me after all. I guess you didn't have it in you to be mean if you want to. Even if you want to. Whatever you say. We cross the street together and make our way to school. As we draw nearer, the streets become increasingly speckled with other students making their daily commute. By the way, Doug, have you decided on a club to join yet? A club? I told you already I'm not really interested in joining any clubs. Haven't been looking either. That's not true. You told me you would join a club this year. Did I? I'm sure it's possible that I did in one of our many conversations where I dismissively go along with whatever she's going on about. Yeah, this actually does sound like me. Sayori likes to worry a little too much about me when I'm perfectly content just getting by on the average while spending my free time on games and anime. Yeah. I was talking about how I'm worried that you won't learn how to socialize or have any skills before college. Your happiness is really important to me, you know. And I know you're happy now. But I die at the thought of you becoming a NEET in a few years because you're not used to the real world. You trust me, right? Don't make me keep worrying about you. What's a NEET? I don't know what a NEET is. I should look that up. I'll look at a few clubs if it makes you happy. No promises though. Will you at least promise me you'll try a little? Yeah, I guess I'll promise you that. Yay. Why do I let myself get lectured by such a carefree girl? This is why I don't do visual novels as much as before. Just so much reading. They can run bad voices at least. More than that, I'm surprised I even let myself relent to her. I guess seeing her worry so much about me makes me want to ease her mind at least a little bit, even if she does exaggerate everything inside of her head. The school day is as ordinary as ever, and it's over before I know it. After I pack up my things, I stare blankly at the wall, looking for an ounce of motivation. Clubs. Sayori wants me to check out some clubs. I guess I have no choice but to start with the anime club. Or the gaming club. That one's better. Hello? Sayori? Sayori must have come to the classroom while I was spacing out. I look around and realize I'm the only one left in the classroom. I thought I'd catch you coming out of the classroom, but I saw you just sitting here and spacing out, so I came in. Honestly, you're even worse than me sometimes. I'm impressed. You don't need to wait up for me if it's going to make you late to your own club. Well, I thought you might need some encouragement, so I thought, you know. Know what? That you could come to my club. Sayori. Yeah? There's no way I'm going to your club. Meanie. Sayori is vice president of the literature club. Not that I was ever aware that she had any interest in literature. In fact, I'm 99% sure she only did it because she thought it would be fun to help start a new club. Since she was the first one to show interest after the one who proposed the club, she inherited the title of vice president. That said, my interest in literature is guaranteed to be even less. Actually, I do like books. Yeah, I'm going to go to the anime club. Come on, please. Why do you care so much anyway? Well, I kinda told the club yesterday I'd bring in a new member. And Natsuki make cupcakes and everything. Don't make promises you can't keep. I can't tell if Sayori is really that much of an airhead or if she's so cunning as to have planned all this out. I let out a long sigh. Fine, I'll stop by for a cupcake, okay? Yes, let's go. And thus today marks the day I sold my soul for a cupcake. It better be a damn good cupcake. I dejectedly follow Sayori across the school and upstairs, a section of the school I rarely visit, being generally used for third-year classes and activities. Sayori, full of energy, swings open the classroom door. Everyone, the new member is here. I told you don't call me a new member. I glance around the room. Welcome to the literature club. A pleasure to meet you. Sayori's always saying nice things about you. I doubt that. Seriously? You brought a boy? Way to kill the atmosphere. What? Boys can like books too! Ah, Doug, what a surprise. Welcome to the club. All words escape me in this situation. This club is full of incredibly cute girls. Yeah, that's a good motivation to join a club. What are you looking at? If you want to say something, say it. Sorry. Natsuki. The girl with the sour attitude whose name is apparently Natsuki is one I don't recognize. Her small figure makes me think she's probably a first year. She's also the one who made the cupcakes, according to Sayori. You can just ignore her when she gets moody. Sayori says that quietly into my ear, then turns back towards the other girls. Anyway, this is Natsuki, always full of energy. And this is Yuri, the smartest of the club. Don't say things like that. Yuri, who appears comparably more mature and timid, seems to have a hard time keeping up with the people like Sayori and Natsuki. Well, it's nice to meet both of you. And it sounds like you already know Monika, is that right? That's right. It's great to see you again, Doug. Monika smiles sweetly, and strikes a pose apparently. We do know each other. Well, we rarely talked, but we were in the same class last year. Monika was probably the most popular girl in class. Smart, beautiful, athletic. Basically completely out of my league. So having her smile at me genuinely feels a little... You too, Monika. Come sit down, Doug. We made room for you at the table, so you can sit next to me or Monika. I'll get the cupcakes. Hey, I made them. I'll get them. Sorry, I got a little too excited. Maybe I should do voices. I want to do something like, okay, let's... Nah, we'll see. If it comes to it. Then how about I make some tea as well? Maybe just for the pink-haired one. The girls have a few desks arranged to form a table. As Sayori mentioned, it's been widened so that there is one space next to Monika and one space next to Sayori. Natsuki and Yuri walk over to the corner of the room where Natsuki grabs a wrap tray and Yuri opens the closet. Still feeling awkward, I take a seat next to Sayori. Natsuki proudly marches back to the table, tray in hand. I thought I was gonna get a choice there. Isn't that what visual novels are all about? Choice? Then you get bad ends? I mean, that's the only thing I really see separating them from adventure games. Okay, are you ready? Ta-da! Whoa! I mean, yeah, adventure games have bad ends too, but usually it's just an immediate death, whereas, like, these would have, like... The few I played back in the day had, like, 4 or 5 canon, or not canon, but good endings. Natsuki lifts the foil off the tray to reveal a dozen white, fluffy cupcakes decorated and look like little cats. The whiskers are drawn with icing and little pieces of chocolate were used to make ears. So cute. I had no idea you were good at baking, Natsuki. Ah, here she is, to her voice. Well, you know. Just hurry and take one. Yeah, that sounds right. Sayori grabs one first, and then Monika and I follow. It's delicious. Sayori talks with her mouth full and has already managed to get icing on her face. I turn the cupcake around in my fingers, looking for the best angle to take a bite. Natsuki is quiet. Can't help but notice her sneaking glances in my direction. Is she waiting for me to take a bite? I finally bite down. The icing is sweet and full of flavor. I wonder if she made it herself. This is really good. Thank you, Natsuki. Why are you thanking me? It's not like I... Haven't I heard this somewhere before? Made them for you or anything? I thought you technically did, Sayori said. Maybe, but not for you, you dummy. Alright. I believe they called that tsundere. Not a... It's almost too cliche. That's the exact line you're supposed to use for that. It's too cliche. Yuri returns to the table carrying a tea set. She carefully places a teacup in front of each of us before setting down on the teapot next to the cupcake tray. You keep a whole tea set in this classroom? Don't worry, the teachers gave us permission. After all, doesn't a hot cup of tea help you enjoy a good book? I guess. Don't let yourself get intimidated. Yuri's just trying to impress you. That's not... Insulted? Yuri looks away. I meant that, you know. I believe you. Well, tea and reading might not be a pastime for me, but at least I enjoy tea. I'm glad. Yuri faintly smiles to herself in relief. Monika raises an eyebrow, then smiles at me. So what made you consider the literature club? I was dragged by her, the demon woman. I was afraid of this question. Something tells me I shouldn't tell Monika that I was practically dragged here by Sayori. I would exactly tell them I was dragged by Sayori. Well, I haven't joined any clubs yet, and Sayori really seems happy here, so... That's okay, don't be embarrassed. We'll make sure you feel right at home, okay? As president of the literature club, it's my duty to make the club fun and exciting for everyone. Monika, I'm surprised. How come you decided to start your own club? You could probably be a board member for any of the major clubs. Weren't you a leader of the debate club last year? Well, you know, to be honest, I can't stand all the politics around the major clubs. It feels like nothing but arguing about the budget and publicity and how to prepare for events. I'd much rather take something I personally enjoy and make something special out of it. And if it encourages others to get into literature, then I'm fulfilling that dream. Monika really is a great leader. Yuri also nods in agreement. Then I'm surprised there aren't more people in the club yet. Must be hard to start a new club. You could put it that way. Not many people are very interested in putting out all the effort to start something brand new. Especially when it's something that doesn't grab your attention, like literature. You have to work hard to convince people that you're both fun and worthwhile. But it makes school events like the festival that much more important. I'm confident that we can all really grow this club before we graduate. Right, everyone? Yeah! We'll do our best. You know it! Everyone enthusiastically agrees. Such different girls all interested in the same goal. Monika must have worked really hard just to find these three. Maybe that's why they were all so delighted by the idea of a new member joining. Though I still don't really know if I can keep up with their level of enthusiasm about literature. So Doug, what kind of things do you like to read? Well, considering how little I've read in the past 2 years, I don't really have a good way of answering that. Actually, I read a decent amount. I mutter quietly to myself, half joking. Natsuki's head suddenly perks up. Looks like she wants to say something, but she's keeping quiet. Not much of a reader, I guess. Well, that can change. What am I saying? I spoke without thinking after seeing Yuri's sad smile. Anyway, what about you, Yuri? Let's see. Yuri chases the rim of her teacup with her finger. My favorites are usually novels that build deep and complex fantasy worlds. Fantasies are good. The level of creativity and craftsmanship behind them is amazing to me. And telling a good story in such a foreign world is equally impressive. Yuri goes on, clearly passionate about her reading. She seems so reserved and timid since the moment I walked in, but it's obvious by the way her eyes light up that she finds her comfort in the world of books, not people. But you know, I like a lot of things. Stories with deep psychological elements usually immerse me as well. Isn't it amazing how a writer can so deliberately take advantage of your own lack of imagination to completely throw you for a loop? Anyway, I've been reading a lot of horror lately. Gee, I wonder if this is foreshadowing. I read a horror book once. Actually, I used to read almost exclusively horror books. Especially those creepy ones, like, I forget the names, but they had those horrible pictures. There was one story about the guy who was hunting wolves, and in the morning they found him in the position he was hunting with his throat slit. It was awesome. He was killed by a ghost wolf. That's one of the stories, at least. Yeah. I desperately grasp something I can relate to at a minimum level. I would get right along with this club. Yeah. At this rate, Yuri might as well be having a conversation with a rock. Really? I wouldn't have expected that, Yuri. For someone as gentle as you. I guess you could say that. But if a story makes me think, or takes me to another world, then I really can't put it down. Surreal horror is often very successful at changing the way you look at the world. Only for a brief moment. I hate horror. Why is that? Well, Natsuki's eyes dart over to me for a split second. Never mind. That's right, you usually like to write about cute things, don't you, Natsuki? What? What gave you that idea? You left a piece of scrap paper behind the last club meeting. It looked like you were working on a poem called Don't Say It Out Loud. And give that back! Fine. Your cupcakes, your poems, everything you do is just as cute as you are. Yeah, especially my voice. Sayori sidles up behind Natsuki and puts her hands on her shoulders. I'm not cute! Natsuki, do you write your own poems? I guess sometimes. Why do you care? I think that's impressive. Why don't you share with them sometime? No. Natsuki averts her eyes. You wouldn't like them. Not very confident writer yet. I understand how Natsuki feels. Sharing that level of writing takes more than just confidence. The truest form of writing is writing to oneself. You must be willing to open up to your readers, exposing your vulnerabilities, and showing even the deepest reaches of your heart. Do you have writing experience too, Yuri? Maybe if you share some of your work, you can set an example and help Natsuki feel comfortable enough to share hers. I guess that's the same for Yuri. I wanted to read everyone's poems. We all sit in silence for a moment. Okay, I have an idea, everyone. Natsuki and Yuri look quizzically at Monika. Let's all go home and write a poem of our own. The next time we meet, we'll share them with each other. That way, everyone is even. Yeah, let's do it. Plus, now that we have a new member, I think it will help us all get a little more comfortable with each other and strengthen the bond of the club. Isn't that right, Doug? Monika smiles warmly at me once again. Hold on, there's still one problem. What's that? Now that we're back to the original topic of me joining the club, I bluntly come forth with what's been on my mind the entire time. I never said I would join this club. Sayori may have convinced me to stop by, but I never made any decision. I still have other clubs to look at and, I lose my train of thought. All four girls stare back at me with dejected eyes. But, I'm sorry, I thought. Humph! Doug, you all. I'm defenseless against these girls. How am I supposed to make a clear-headed decision when it's like this? That is, if writing poems is the price I need to pay in order to spend every day with these beautiful girls. Right. Okay, I decided then. I'll join the literature club. One by one, the girls' eyes light up. I'm so happy. Sayori wraps her arms around me, jumping up and down. Hey, you really did scare me for a moment. If you really just came for the cupcakes, I would be super pissed. Then that makes it official. Welcome to the literature club. Thanks, I guess. Okay, everyone. I think with that, we could officially end today's meeting on a good note. Everyone, remember tonight's assignment. Write a poem to bring to the next meeting so we can all share. Monika looks over at me once more. Doug, I look forward to seeing how you express yourself. Hee. Yeah. Can I really impress the class star like Monika with my mediocre writing skills? I already feel the anxiety welling up inside of me. Meanwhile, the girls continue to chit-chat as Yuri and Natsuki clean up the food. Hey Doug, since you're already here, why don't you walk home together? I screwed that sentence up, but whatever. That's right, Sayori and I never walk home together anymore because she always stayed after school for clubs. Might as well. Yay. With the two of us depart the club room and make our way home. The whole way my mind wanders back and forth between the four girls. Sayori, Natsuki, Yuri, and of course Monika. Will I really be happy spending every day after school in the literature club? As long as you have a chance with one of them. If it's just if they all have boyfriends, then you're kind of screwed and you're just fooling yourself. Considering your motivation, buddy. Perhaps I'll have a chance to go closer to one of these girls. The warning made me think this wasn't that kind of game. Alright, I just need to make the most of my circumstances. I'm sure good fortune will find me. And I guess that starts with writing a poem tonight. Time to write a poem. Pick words you think your favorite club member will like. Something good might happen with whoever likes your poem the most. This is a thing? Wait, why is there only these three? Well, I'm gonna save here because I guess this replaces choices. There we go. Cool. Alright, save one. Done. Alright. This is page 1 of 2. Is there more? Is this all we got? Okay. If it's those three, I'm gonna have to go with Yuki because she likes horror books and I like horror books. And, well, she's the only one that actually seemed to care about reading. So let's see. Existence. Yeah, alright. Intellectual. Yes. Defeat. What? No. Damn it. Unrestrained. Yes. Frightening. Aha. Sadness. What? Why does she like sadness? Okay, contamination. There we go. Tragedy. I am learning about her from these options. Unending. There we go. So she's all about why is she all about depression and sadness? Embrace. Nope. Damn it. Getting the wrong person. Explode. There we go. Suicide. No. Wrath. There we go. Okay. Tenacious. Yes. Disaster. Yes. Okay, what else does she like? Anger. I should have known that she was anger. Philosophy. There we go. Imagination? Yes. Agonizing. No, that sounds like it might be... Yeah, no. Covet. There we go. That's an interesting trick. Promise. I didn't mean to pick two! Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! Let's see where this goes. Hi again, Doug. Glad to see you didn't run away on us. Don't worry. This might be a little strange for me, but at least I keep my word. Well, I'm back at the literature club. I was the last to come in, so everyone else is already hanging out. Thanks for keeping your promise, Doug. I hope this isn't too overwhelming of commitment for you. Making you dive headfirst into literature when you're not accustomed to it. Oh, come on. Like he deserves any slack. Sayori told me you didn't even want to join any clubs this year. And last year, too. I don't know if you plan to just come here and hang out or what. But if you don't take us seriously, you won't see the end of it. Natsuki, you certainly have a big mouth for someone who keeps her manga collection in the club room. Natsuki finds herself stuck between saying Monika and manga. Manga is literature! Swiftly defeated, Natsuki plops back into her seat. Don't worry, guys. Doug always gives it his best as long as he's having fun. He helps me with busy work without me even asking, like cooking, cleaning my room. How dependable. Sayori, that's because your room is messy. It's so messy it's distracting. And you almost set your house on fire once. Is that so? You two really are good friends, aren't you? I might be a little jealous. How come? You and Doug can become good friends too. Sayori. As usual, Sayori seems oblivious to the weird situation she just put me into. Oh, Yuri even brought you something today, you know? Wait, Sayori. Me? Not really. Don't be shy. It's nothing really. What is it? Never mind. Sayori made it sound like a big deal when it's really not. What do I do? I'm sorry, Yuri, I wasn't thinking. Guess that means it's up to me to rescue the situation. Hey, don't worry about it. First of all, I wasn't expecting anything in the first place. It was a nice gesture from you as a pleasant surprise. It'll make me happy no matter what. Is that so? Yeah, I won't make a big deal of it if you don't want it to be. Alright. Well, here. Yuri reaches into her bag and pulls out a book. I didn't want you to feel left out, so I picked out a book that I thought you might enjoy. It's a short read, so it should keep your attention, even if you don't usually read. And we could, you know, discuss it if you wanted. This is How Is This Girl Accidentally Being So Cute? She even picked out a book she thinks I'll like despite me not reading much. Yuri, thank you. I'll definitely read this. I enthusiastically take the book. Phew. Well, you can read it at your own pace. I look forward to hearing what you think. Now that everyone's settled in, I expect Monica to kick off some scheduled activities for the club. But that doesn't seem to be the case. Sayori and Monica are having a cheery conversation in the corner. Yuri's face is already buried in a book. I can't help but notice her intense expression. It's like she's waiting for this chance. Meanwhile, Natsuki is rummaging in the closet. I'm really curious to talk to Yuri a little bit more. But at the same time, I would feel bad for distracting her from reading. I catch a glimpse of the cover of her book. It looks like the same book she lent me. More than that, she seems to be on the first few pages. Crap. Think she noticed me looking at her. She sneaks another glance at me, and our eyes meet for a split second. But that only makes her hide her face deeper in her book. Sorry, I was just spacing out. I mutter this sensing I made her uncomfortable. Oh, it's fine. If I was focused, then I probably wouldn't have noticed in the first place. But I'm just rereading a bit of this, so... That's the book you gave me, right? Mm-hmm. I wanted to reread some of it. Not for any particular reason. Just curious. How come you have 2 copies of the same book? Well, when I stopped at the bookstore yesterday... that's not what I meant. I mean, I just happened to buy 2 of them. I see. There's something fairly obvious here that Yuri isn't telling me, but I decided to let it go. I'll definitely start reading it soon. I'm glad to hear. Once it starts to pick up, you might have a hard time putting it down. I wish you had at least told me the title, or maybe, you know, the genre. It's a very engaging and relatable story. Is that so? How generic of a description. What is it about, anyway? Okay, here we go. Well, Yuri closes the book and scans her eyes over the back. The book is titled Portrait of Markov. There's an ominous-looking eye symbol on the front cover. Alright. I just wanted to make sure I don't accidentally give anything away. Basically, it's about this girl in high school who moves in with her long-lost younger sister. But as soon as she does so, her life gets really strange. She gets targeted by these people who escaped from a human experiment prison. And while her life is in danger, she needs to desperately choose who to trust. And no matter what she does, she ends up destroying most of her relationships and her life starts to fall apart. It's kind of dark, isn't it? You already made it sound like it was going to be a nice story, so that dark turn came from nowhere. But it's more interesting. I would read that. Sort of. Like if it was a short book, it seems like interesting. Yuri gently giggles all of a sudden. Are you not a fan of that sort of thing, Doug? Actually, I am. No, it's not that. I mean, I can definitely enjoy those kinds of stories. I don't worry. I hope so. Yeah, I totally forgot that Yuri is into those things. She's so shy and reclusive on the outside, but her mind seems to be completely different. It's just that those kind of stories, they challenge you to look at life from a strange, new perspective. When horrible things happen, not just because someone wants to be evil, because they have their own goals or their own philosophy they believe in. And suddenly, when you thought you were related to the protagonist, they're made out to be the naive one for letting their one-sided morals interfere with the villain's plans. I'm rambling, aren't I? Not again. I'm sorry. Hey, don't apologize. I haven't lost interest or anything. Well, I guess it's alright then. You actually made it sound like a book I want to read. Thank you. But I feel like I should let you know that I have this problem. When I let things like books get in writing fill my thoughts, I kind of forget to pay attention to other people. So I'm sorry if I end up saying something strange. And please stop me if I start talking too much. I really don't think you need to worry. Just means you're passionate about reading. The least I can do is listen. It's a literature club after all. That's true. In fact, I might as well get started reading, right? Seeing it, right? You don't have to. What are you saying? Just a moment ago you said you were looking forward to it. Let me just get the book. I quickly retrieved the book I had put in my bag. Alright, it's fine if I sit here, right? I slip into the seat next to Yuri's. Yeah. Are you sure? You seem a little apprehensive. I'm sorry. It's not that I don't want you to. Just something I'm not very used to. It is reading in company with someone. I see. Well, just tell me if I end up distracting you or anything. Alright. I open the book and start the prologue. I soon understand what Yuri means about reading in company. It's as if I can feel her presence over my shoulder as I read. It's not a particularly bad thing. Maybe a little distracting, but the feeling is somewhat comforting. Yuri is in the corner of my eye. I realize that she's not actually looking at her own book. I glance over. It looks like she's reading from my book instead. Sorry. I was just... Yuri, you really apologize a lot, don't you? I do? I don't really mean to. Sorry. I mean... Here, this should work, right? I slide my desk up until Yuri's is up against Yuri's and hold my book more between the two of them. Yeah, I suppose so. Yuri timidly closes her own copy. Once we each lean in a bit, our shoulders are almost touching. It feels like my left arm is in the way, so instead I use my right hand to hold the book open. I guess that makes it kind of difficult to turn the page. Here. Yuri takes her left arm and holds the left side of the book between her thumb and forefinger. I do the same with my right arm on the right side of the book. The way I turn the page and Yuri slides it under her thumb after it flips to her side. That way I turn the page, yeah. But in holding it like this, we're huddled even closer together than before. It's actually kind of distracting me. It's as if I can feel the warmth of Yuri's face and she's in the corner of my vision. How romantic after knowing somebody for 2 days. Are you ready? To turn the page. Sorry. I think I got a bit distracted for a second. I glance over at Yuri's face again and our eyes meet. I don't know how I'll be able to keep up with her. That's okay. You're not used to reading, right? I don't mind being patient if it takes you a bit longer. It's probably the least I can do. Since you've been so patient with me. Yeah, thanks. We continue reading. Yuri no longer asks me if I'm ready to turn the page. Instead, I just assume that she finishes the page before me, so I turn it by my own volition. We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page almost feels like an intimate exchange. My thumb gently letting go of the page, letting it flutter over to her side as she catches it under her own thumb. Hey Yuri. This might be a silly thought, but this main character kind of reminds me of you a little bit. You think so? How does she? Well, I guess she's more blunt in a lot of ways. The character's a murderer. I told you I read this before. Oh, then forget what I said. But she also second guesses all of the things she says and does. Like she's afraid she'll do something wrong. It's not like I can see into your head or anything. But they're kind of reminiscent of some of your mannerisms. I see. How'd he know I was a book creature? I must kill him. Yuri remains silent for a moment. But Doug, that's probably a terrible thing to have in common with her. So embarrassing that you think that. Wait, I didn't mean it in a bad way or anything. Sorry, I really didn't know you were self-conscious about that sort of thing. I guess I'm more meant that it's kind of cute. What are you saying all of a sudden? Okay, everyone. I think it's about time we share today's poems with each other. We might not have enough time if we wait too long. Yuri exhales, spared from finishing her thought. Is that alright, Yuri? You look kinda down. I'm sorry if you haven't been looking forward to this. It's not. It's fine. You released her hand from the book, causing it to close on top of my thumb. Oh, Yuri did. Alright. I guess I'll do some more reading tonight. Or would you prefer I only read it with you? I guess I don't have too much of a preference either way. In that case, I'll read a little more tonight. It'll be fun to read with you after it picks up a bit, you know? That's good reasoning. In that case, feel free to finish the first 2 chapters in your own time. Alright. I stand up. I make a mental note of where I left off in the book and slip it back into my bag. By the way, did you remember to write a poem last night? Yeah. My relaxation ends. Can't believe I have agreed to do something so embarrassing. I couldn't really find much inspiration since I've never really done this before. Well, now that everyone's ready, why don't you find someone to share with? I can't wait! Sayori and Monica enthusiastically pull out their poems. Sayori's is on a wrinkled sheet of loose leaf torn from a spiral notebook. On the other hand, Monica wrote hers in the composition notebook. I can already see Monica's pristine handwriting from where I sit. Natsuki and Yuri reluctantly comply as well, reaching into their bags. I do the same myself. Who should I show my poem to first? Gotta be Yuri! Things are cool or not, there's a connection there that I'm forcing with game choices. Yuri seems the most experienced, so I should start with her. I can trust her opinion to be fair. As Yuri reads the poem, I notice her eyes lighten. Exceptional! What was that? Did I say that out loud? Yuri first covers her mouth, then ends up covering her whole face. He's going to hate me. You really didn't do anything wrong, Yuri. I guess you're right. What am I getting nervous for? Yuri takes a breath. So, what kind of writing experience do you have? Your use of imagery and metaphors indicates you've written a lot of poetry before. Actually, no, I just describe a lot of rooms in D&D. No one else wants to DM. Really? Wow, that's a huge compliment coming from you. This is actually my first time, really. Huh. Yuri stares at me blankly, then looks at my poem again. Well, I know that. I just meant Yuri trails off, unable to find an excuse. She traces her finger along the words in the poem, as if breaking it down more thoroughly. Yeah, okay. This is the reason I was able to tell. It's just that there are specific writing habits that are usually typical of new writers. And having been through that myself, I kind of learned to pick up on them. I think the most noticeable thing I recognize as new writers is that they try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick a writing style separate from the topic matter, and they form-fit the two together. The end result is that both the style and the expressiveness are weakened. Once Yuri finds her train of thought, it's as if her demeanor totally changes. Her stammering is completely gone, and she sounds like an expert. Of course, it's not something you can be blamed for. There are so many different skills and techniques that go into writing, even a simple poem. Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together is probably the most challenging part. It might take you some time, but it all comes with practice and learning by example and trying new things. I also hope that everyone else in the club gives you valuable feedback. Natsuki can be a little biased, though. Biased? How? Well, never mind. I shouldn't be talking about people like that. Sorry. It's fine. Not sure if Yuri's apologizing to herself, to me, or to Natsuki. Do you mind if I read your poem now? Please do. I'd love to share my thought process behind it. Yuri smiles dreamily as if that's a rare opportunity for her. Which itself is kind of funny. After all, isn't this supposed to be a literature club? Ghost under the light. Oh, hey. Hey, wait, no, history. I wanted to read that. What? Why? No, I thought it was going to be on text. Damn it, how do I re-see the thing? I wanted to see the thing. Damn it. I thought it was... Usually it's the text up there and then it's put on the bottom in more readable text. I'm sorry I have such terrible handwriting. What? I wasn't thinking that at all. But it took you a long time to read. I wish it did. I would have read it. Well, I just don't read script very often. I actually think your handwriting is pretty. That's a relief. Also, I like the poem. Even though it's short, it's really descriptive. It wasn't too short? I usually write longer poems. Not at all. I'm really glad you like it. I'll be honest. Since it's our first time sharing, I wanted to write something a little more mild. Something easy to digest, I suppose. Are you into ghost theory? Uh-huh. Usually, the story isn't about a ghost at all, Doug. I must have totally missed the point. Well, I suppose you did only glance over it after all. But remember that poets often express their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences in their work. They usually do more than tell a simple story or paint a picture. In this case, perhaps the subject of the poem is only being symbolically compared to a ghost. Lingering in her last remaining place of comfort, unable to let go of the past. And soon to be left with nothing. That's a lot more solemn way of putting it that way. I hadn't even thought of that. That's impressive. Eh? It's nothing really. Yours was impressive too, so... Nah. If anything, I could probably learn a thing or two from you. You think so? Of course. You know, I was really nervous about doing all this. But in the end, I enjoyed it. I'm going to keep doing my best for you, Doug. Me too. Well then, let's see what Natsuki has to say. Might as well murder my voice. Doug, if you're not going to take this club seriously, then go home. What? Harsh. What do you expect me to believe, that you actually put effort into this? Do you think I'm stupid? I'm not a writer. Maybe it's not very good, but yeah, I did put in effort. Just not for you. I saw the little stickers and I didn't want yours to jump. We all start somewhere, right? If you're still proud of your first poem you ever wrote, then I'd like to read it. Painful to think about? Fine. Well, sorry. You'll get better anyway. I tell you what to improve, but you're better off just trying again. Fair enough. Well, to each their own, I guess. Anyway, I gotta share mine now. Knowing you, you'll probably think it's stupid. Okay. Eagles can fly, monkeys can climb, crickets can leap, horses can race, owls can seek, and cheetahs can run, eagles can fly, people can try, but that's about it. Yeah, I told you that you weren't gonna like it. I like it. What? Just be honest. I am. Why are you so convinced that I wouldn't like it? Well, because everyone in this high school thinks that writing has to be all sophisticated and crap. So people don't even take my writing seriously. But isn't the point of poems to express themselves? Your writing style wouldn't make your message any less valid. Yes, exactly. I like when it's easy to read, but hits you hard. Like this poem and a shot of whiskey. Seeing everyone around you do great things can be really disheartening. So I decided to write about it. Yeah, I understand. But the other nice thing about simple writing is that it puts more weight on the wordplay. Like I set up for a rhyme at the end, then I made it fall flat on purpose. I like disappointing people. It helps bring out the feeling in the last line. So you did. I guess more went into it than I realized. That's what it means to be a pro. Glad you learned something, kid. Didn't expect that from the youngest one here, did ya? Guess not. I decided to humor her with that last comment. I don't really care how old everyone is, but if Natsuki is feeling proud, then I won't take that away from her. Alright, let's go with Sayori next, because, you know, she's probably gonna hate this poem too. This is a good poem, Doug. Are you sure it's your first time? Of course. It's not that good. I'm the kind of guy who would be writing poems in his... Am I the kind of guy who would be writing poems in his spare time? I guess you're right. But that's why it impressed me. Well, to be honest, I was afraid that you wouldn't do it seriously. Or that you wouldn't write one at all. I'm really happy just that you wrote one. It just reminds me of how you're really a part of the club now. Not to mention the fact that I'm standing in front of you in the club room. Of course. Not really into it yet, but it doesn't mean I'll break my promise. See? It's like I said before, Doug. Deep down, you're not selfish at all, you know? Trying new things like this for other people. That's something that only really good people do. Thanks, Sayori. Not sure if Sayori sees the full picture of my motive here. Then again, can't deny that she's part of the reason I joined. I mean, I've known her for so long. Gotta tap that. This guy is not the best of people, is that I'm realizing. Knowing how much this means to her and all. Yeah. And I'm gonna make sure you have a lot of fun here, okay? That will be my way of thanking you. Alright. I'm gonna hold you to that then. Yay. Now you'll read my poem too, right? Don't worry, I'm really bad at this. Heh. We'll see about that. Dear sunshine, the way you glow through my blinds in the morning, it makes me feel like you miss me. Kissing my forehead to help me out of bed, making me rub the sleepy from my eyes. Are you asking me to come out and play? Are you testing me to wish away a rainy day? I look above, the sky is blue, it's a secret, but I trust you too. If it wasn't for you, I would sleep forever, but I'm not mad, I want breakfast. That's the best ending ever. Thanks, sunshine. Time for breakfast. This is just a guess, but did you wait until this morning to write this? No. Just a little bit. Can't answer just a little bit. It's a yes or no question. I forgot to do it last night. Well, at least it makes me feel a little better about myself. Don't be mean. I still tried my best. Yeah. I didn't mean to say that it was a bad poem. It came out nice, or how should I put it? Just sounds like you. Really? Yeah. Especially that last line. I made eggs and toast. Even though you were late to school? It's bad to skip breakfast. I get all cranky. Well, I guess there's no point in arguing. Anyway, thanks for showing me. This was so much fun. Monica's the best. Yeah. But next time, don't forget. I'm gonna write the best poem ever. Well, I guess I'll look forward to it. Gee, so many choices now. Who to pick? Hi, Doug. Having a good time so far? Yeah. Good, glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you ever have any suggestions for the club, like new activities or things we can do to get better, I'm always listening. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay? Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Of course, I'll be afraid to bring things up. I'm much better off just going with the flow until I'm more settled in. Anyway, want to share your poem with me? It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to. Aha! Don't worry, Doug. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know? It's the sort of barrier that we'll all learn to get past soon. That's true. I hand Monica my poem. Great job, Doug. I was going ooh while in my head while reading it. It's really metaphorical. Not sure why, but I didn't expect you to go for something so deep. I guess I underestimated you. It's easiest for me to keep everyone's expectations low. That way, it always counts when I put in some effort. That's not very fair. Well, I guess it worked anyway. You know that Yuri likes this kind of writing, right? Writing that's full of imagery and symbolism. Unlike Sayori, who likes using simple and direct words to describe happiness and sadness. And Yuri likes it when readers are left to derive their own meaning out of it. It's very challenging to write like that effectively. Both allowing people to get something out of it just by feel, or letting them deeply analyze all the nuances. It can take years of practice, which I'm assuming Yuri has at this point. I never really asked though. I'm sure I'm nowhere near her level yet. Don't worry so much about that. You do your own thing. You just keep exploring, and learn by trying new things. I'm sure I'll end up trying some different things a lot. It could take a while before I feel comfortable doing this. That's okay. I'd love to see you try new things. That's the best way to find the kind of style that suits you. Everyone else might be a little biased towards their own kind of styles, but I'll always help you find what suits you the most. So don't force yourself to write the way everyone else wants you to write. It's not like you have to worry about impressing them or anything. Haha! Aha. Anyway, do you want to read my poem now? Don't worry, I'm not very good. You sound pretty confident for someone who claims to not be very good. Well, that's because I have to sound confident. Doesn't mean I'm always feel that way, you know? I see. Well, let's read it then. Hole in wall. It couldn't have been me. See the direction the spackle protrudes? A noisy neighbor? An angry boyfriend? I'll never know, I wasn't home. I peer inside for a clue. No, I can't see. I reel, blind, like a film left out in the sun. But it's too late. My retina's already scorched with a permanent copy of the meaningless image. It's just a hole. It wasn't too bright. It was too deep. Stretching forever into everything. A hole of infinite choices. I realize now that I wasn't looking in. I was looking out. And he, on the other side, was looking in. So what do you think? It's very free form, if that's what you call it. Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback. That's okay. Yeah, that kind of style has got pretty popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the timing between words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be really powerful. What was the inspiration behind this one? Well, I'm not sure if I know how to put it. I guess you could say that I had some kind of epiphany recently. It's been influencing my poems a bit. An epiphany? Yeah, something like that. Kind of nervous to talk about the deep stuff like that, because it's kind of coming strongly. Maybe after everyone's better friends with each other. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when you're writing a poem or a story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. If you try so hard to make it perfect, then you'll never make any progress. Just force yourself to get something down on paper and tidy it up later. Another way to think about it is this. If you keep your pen to the same spot for too long, you'll just get a big dark puddle of ink. So just move your hand and go with the flow. That's my advice for today. That's actually decent advice. Thanks for listening. Phew, I guess that's everyone. I glanced around the room. That was a little more stressful than I anticipated. It's as if everyone is judging me for my mediocre writing abilities. Even if they're just being nice, there's no way my poems can stand up to theirs. This is literature club after all. I sigh. I guess that's what I ended up getting myself into. Across the room, Sayori and Monica are happily chatting. My eyes land on Yuri and Natsuki. They gingerly exchange sheets of paper, sharing their respective poems. As they read in tandem, I watch each of their expressions change. Natsuki's eyebrows furrow in frustration. Meanwhile, Yuri smiles sadly. What's with this language? Eh? Did you say something? Nothing. Natsuki dismissively turns the poem to the desk with one hand. I guess you could say it's fancy. Thanks. Yours is cute. Cute? Did you completely miss the symbolism or something? It's clearly about the feeling of giving up. How can that be cute? I know that. I just meant the language, I guess. Just trying to say something nice. Eh? Well, do you mean you have to try that hard to come up with something nice to say? Thanks, but I really didn't come out nice at all. Well, I do have a couple suggestions. Huh. If I was looking for your suggestions, I would have asked someone who actually liked it. Which people did, by the way. Sayori liked it. And Doug did too. So based on that, I'll give you some suggestions of my own. First of all, excuse me. I appreciate the offer, but I've spent a long time establishing my writing style. I don't expect it to change anytime soon, unless of course I come across something particularly inspiring. Which I haven't yet. And Doug liked my poem too, you know. He even told me he was impressed by it. Natsuki suddenly stands up. Oh? I didn't realize you were so invested in trying to impress our new member, Yuri. Eh? That's not what you're just... Yuri stands up as well. Maybe you're just jealous that Doug appreciates my advice more than he appreciated yours. And how do you know he didn't appreciate my advice more? Are you that full of yourself? No. If I was full of myself, I would deliberately I would deliberately go out of my way to make everything I do overly cutesy. Is everyone okay? Well, you know what? I wasn't the one whose boobs magically grew in size bigger as soon as Doug started showing up. Natsuki, that's a little... This doesn't involve you. I don't like fighting, guys. Suddenly, both girls turned towards me as if they noticed I was standing there. Doug, she's just trying to make me look bad. That's not true. She started it. If she could get over herself to learn and appreciate the simple writing is more effective, then this wouldn't have happened in the first place. What's the point of making all our poems all convoluted for no reason? The meaning should jump out at the reader, not force them to have to figure it out. Help me explain this crap to her, Doug. Wait. There's a reason we have so many deep and expressive words in our language. It's the only way to convey complex feelings and meaning most effectively. Avoiding them is not only unnecessarily limiting yourself, it's also a waste. You understand that, right, Doug? Well, how did I get dragged into this in the first place? It's not like I know anything about writing, but whomever I agree with, they'll probably think more highly of me. So of course that's going to be... Let us save. And you know what? This seems like a good place to end the first session. I'm probably gonna go with Yuri. But it's already been an hour. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I am so glad I decided to give her a voice. That has made this a lot better. Hope to see you next time, when hopefully the weird stuff comes up. It's supposed to be there. Later.